Alright everybody, I got another one ready to go, and I am currently working on quite a few different ones. I'm actually got one that I'm working on that I'm pretty excited for. It's an up and coming for Halloween. I gotta actually dig through some of my goodies after I get off of here and see if I can't find some really cool, like, old vintage style articles to throw in with it. And I have a book up in the closet that I think will work really great for that. So anyway, let's jump right in here. This is a vintage piece. There are vintage patterns in it, and the cover itself is made from vintage patterns. Most of the papers inside you can write on, but some of them you cannot. They're very delicate. So this is kind of a I've had a couple of people buy my journals for collector's editions. This would probably fall under that category. There's a couple pages in this you can write in, but not all of them you can. And so I just wanted to make that a valid point if anyone decided that they wanted to buy this journal. Some of the paper is very old and a bit brittle. So turning the pages works just fine. But if you decide you want to write on them or do anything with those pages, you are definitely going to need washi tape, and I would stick mainly to collaging on those pages, or just handling them by putting little things inside of the pockets I've created, or just gluing things directly to the pages using a non-acid type glue, because as I said, the paper is already quite old. So this one I had a lot of fun with. We have Tim Holtz enclosures here. Very nice. And I can't remember which paper packet I got this out of, because I have all of my paper packs separated and stored in paper containers from Joann's and Michael's. So none of them actually have their labels on them. They're just kind of all jumbled together. But this one was a very vintage set that I got all of these different pieces from. They're scattered throughout the journal. And I made the Tim Holtz tape. This is the fabric Tim Holtz tape. Go all the way around and secure. And we have a Tim Holtz chain clip here for any charms. I have sewing charms, but all of the charms I have are in silver, and I had a hard time finding any in the antique color. So whoever wants to add a charm to this is more than welcome to, in any color they want. I have a spool, a wooden spool that I distressed that I was gonna hang on here, but it's not really big, but it's pretty decent sized. So I will include that with the journal, and you can hang it from the clip if you want. You can use it as a showpiece to go with the journal, you know, whatever you decide. And here we have some strings coming out the top. Is actually a ruler that I had put in. You can use it for a bookmark, you can just leave it there, and that is actually in that secret hidey hole that I like to put in all of my journals. So if you have one of my journals, you do have this secret hidey hole. You just may not know about it very well, or you may not choose to use it. So, oh, one moment. Oh, they can wait. I have an incoming call. It's no one too important. So, alright, of course we got the traditional lace going on here, really pretty, and a lot of this is the knit stuff. So a little bit more of the expensive laces instead of just the basic flat lace. And the enclosure is with snaps, and I added a second snap in case it gets a little chunky, so you have more space to grow and to add. So you don't have to worry about it being too tight when you snap it, if you decide that you want to add more to this journal and actually use it as a journal. So yeah, a bit of room to grow here, just so you know. And of course they pop right open. There's a little X where I put on the snap. I tried to keep it uniform and cute. And on the inside you got quite a bit of goodies. This journal is very stiff and sturdy. Definitely brand spanking new and well bound together on this one. I think I put a little extra glue because of the old papers. And you got a tuck spot here, and a really neat type of tuck spot here as well. And with this, it has a needle threader, and you got a little bit of extra string going on here, and then you got some tape measure tape. It's ribbon tape measure, and of course a needle to hold the tape measure tape in. Be careful with that. So you got another kind of tuck spot here also if you want to use it for that. You can also flip it up and fold it and use it for a journal spot. Same with this, if you decide you want to flip it out, it can be utilized as a journal hidey hole spot. And see what I mean by vintage paper. This is definitely vintage paper that my aunt had sent me. So, and when I stitched on the ribbon, or I mean the lace and all that, I laid down washi tape to keep the paper intact, and it worked out perfectly. So just keep in mind that if you decide you want to do something like that or add things to the paper, just do something to kind of reinforce it. I actually debated on spraying all of them with the same UV spray that I sprayed the cover of the journal with, but I thought that might have been a little bit too much. So if you want to do that, it's probably going to be a little bit harder now. You might be able to get a paintbrush and the clear, like a clear gloss UV protectant. You might be able to do that. This paper is still pretty heavy duty. It's an older pattern, but it was well maintained and hidden away from elements to damage it. So it's in pretty good condition. You can write on it. It's just these ones about the hems and stuff you cannot. This one you can write on. These are just tea stain, coffee stain papers. Here's another delicate one. Did I? Oh, I did. Okay. And be careful. Right here, it's a little pokely. It shouldn't cut you or anything, but I got a seam ripper and just stuck it in there. And of course, you got a tuck spot here. Thought the seam ripper would add some character. And of course, the torn edges here. And you can write on this. And this is some pretty good paper. So there's plenty of writing space. You just have to remember that these pages that look vintage, to take a little bit more care with them. But they are in really great shape considering how vintage they are, and really well taken care of, and make a beautiful addition. Like this one, see how I just turned it into a tuck spot? I took and took my piece of paper with a piece of cardstock, and I glued down all of my stuff onto the cardstock, and then I stitched around it the way I wanted, added stickers, and then I glued it straight to the vintage paper. So that will keep it in place and make it really nice. And then on top of that, you have a nice little tuck spot you can tuck things into. So thought that would be a good way to take care of some of those vintage papers and kind of give you a good idea on how to as well. And we got some really nice laces in here. Some of these are even hand crocheted. And speak of the devil, here's a little crochet piece. Special fabrics. And another tuck spot. And we got some cool washi tape with some tape measure ribbon on it. And another tuck spot. We got some little note cards tucked in here. So you can write on these. You can fold this back if you want. You can fold the paper back. So you have a little bit of extra writing space there. And of course you got some tuck spot here. Very colorful on the staining. And into the second signature. And another tuck spot. And we got a tuck spot here too if you like. Or you can fold it up under and you have another writing spot. And this one I safety pinned in. Here's the last piece of that tape measure. I just punched a hole in it and added it in, and another note card. And of course you got a tuck spot here. And this came out of a vintage magazine, I think. It's got a bunch of different craft books on it from Vintage. And here's another tuck spot, and I added in some snaps for you. And I really like this lace. It's very pretty. Has a lot of texture. It's one of my favorites, actually. I'm almost getting down on it, so, and it's one of those that I can't get more. So feel special. You have a limited edition lace that I really don't have access to getting any more of. All right, now we're getting into our third signature. It looks like another tuck spot here. You got a ticket here. You can fold it out and write on it, or also use it for a tuck spot. And I decided I wanted to get a little fun with it and just staple some of these things in, so that was fun. And just a random piece of paper. It's an article about hunting mittens. I thought I'd throw those in there. I think it's actually a crochet article on it or something. Old-fashioned Christmas. So I thought that would be a little fun. You know, maybe Grandma found a pair of, or an old pattern she liked, or an old article about some old mittens that she liked, and just threw it in her little quilting book. And this one has a lot of nice texture too. I really love that one. Very interesting. Man, everyone always decides that they want to call me when I'm filming. Never fails. That's okay though. And here's another tuck spot. Okay, so it looks like I may have accidentally skipped a signature, because I know each journal I make generally has 5 signatures. Or I didn't really skip a signature, I just didn't really point it out. Oh no, yep, ended the signature. So here's the 5th and final signature. Sometimes I get a little lost. So here's a really nice tuck spot here, really big one. So you can tuck quite a few goodies in there. This is a really good sturdy piece of paper, so you can write on it, do whatever you want with it. I still love this one too, and this is another one that I ain't gonna have any access to. If some of you remember, it was in my Paris journal, and I'm about out of that one too. I'm like, no, it's one of my favorites. So here's another one. That's the one thing though I like about lace is you always gotta try something new. And here's another pocket, and it's got some buttons. You always got to try new laces, and when you're out, you're out. You just got to find something new that matches what you're working on. Sometimes I can find distributors that have some really good lace, and I continuously can get the same lace. But it's not as fun that way, I think. If you have a bunch of different laces, then it really challenges you to try and find laces and put just stuff together and make it work, and then it comes out more beautiful in the end, and you actually feel like you put some time into it. And there's another tuck spot. So that is all for this journal, and it is very it needs to be worked in a little bit. This one is a little bit more stiff than some of my other journals. I'm not sure why. Maybe it was the gluing of the binding, but it's all good. It'll be worked in to whoever gets it. And of course, this wonderful ruler slash, you can use it for a bookmark, and you tuck it right here, or you can slide it in with your pages to mark your place. Either way. I also like the idea of you can use this as a type of bookmark too if you want. So I hope you all enjoyed this beautiful journal, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for tuning in. Bye. Oh, I should probably mention, I'm not sure if I mentioned it or not, but you will be able to find this journal on Etsy. Look down in the description box for the Etsy link for this specific journal. I will mark it on YouTube as available. As soon as it's gone, I will try to remember to get it up as sold. I've been putting up at least one journal a week, and out of all my journals, one of them I forgot to mark as sold, and some lady asked about it, and I'm like, I'm sorry. So I will try to remember. I generally do, but that one journal I just missed. But usually if it says sold, or for sale, it's on Etsy, and if it says sold, then it is not available. So keep an eye out, run over to my Etsy, check out my paper. I've been saying that I'm going to do some kits this weekend. I actually have a lot of free time for myself, so I'm going to try and get some of those started and get them up on Etsy. Alright, I'm going to try this again. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye! You trying to help me video? You wanna help me video? Huh? You gonna help me video? You think you are, huh? Yeah, you think you are. Poor Fluffy. Yeah, if you couldn't tell, I need to clean my craft room. It's funny, it's organized, it's just not put away. They're organized into their respective piles. So this is part of what me and my kids are going to be doing this weekend, because it's also supposed to rain. Poor Fluff, he's trying to get to his doggy basket. There you go. Oh, and it's got junk in it. I'm sorry, Fluff. Oh, my bad. I better go empty that out.